Yes, welcome to Three Conservative Gimps, and we are proud and free, and we stand as one. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a kick-ass week. It's today it's been sunny and cool and a little breezy here in Colorado. Yesterday we got up to about 80 degrees, so it's been nice and warm. Now we're back in that weird spring weather pattern where it's starting to cool off. Tomorrow we'll be in the 70s, and then this weekend we will be down in the 50s and 40s and rain. So, which we really need here. We're dry as a bone. Alrighty, let's welcome all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's my good buddy, Lloyd Mendenhall, who's got a queasy tummy. Hope he's feeling better. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing pretty good. Trying to stay awake. I wish my boss would quit screwing around with the thermostat in our department. The temperature has been great all week. Didn't need to wear my jacket, my felt jacket. And what does he do? He screws around with the thermostat yesterday. Now it's been off and on cold in there. And where I'm sitting, I am sitting right below a vent. So it's blowing cold air on me. And it's no wonder I'm tired and I'm having a hard time sleeping at night. So maybe I'll take one of my gummies before I go to bed, and hopefully I'll sleep better. Hey, welcome TJ to the show.
Hey, TJ.
And so how's the weather in your neck of the woods?
It's springtime in Oklahoma. We go from, we were like up to close to 80 the other day, and then it's turned off. It's cloudy and been kind of cool today. Although it said we got up to 79, but it sure hadn't felt it. But we've had a blowing wind, and now we got stormy weather moving in, and it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. So, it's typical
weather. Have you seen Stormy Daniels lately?
No, I haven't. Just stormy weather.
She's put on a shit ton of weight. Yeah.
That's all those bonbons she's able to buy.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, crap. I apologize.
Now she's doing stand-up comedy.
I heard. Oh, yeah. I did see a picture of her. Yeah, it's like she needs to, well, I'd say keep her day job, but she was a porn star. Obviously, she can't do that anymore.
Well, hey, at least she's standing up. She's mostly horizontal. Anyway.
That's true. Yeah. Now she's earning her living standing up instead of laying down. So.
And keeping her legs closed. Anyway, and her mouth shut. And except for when she's telling a punch. Let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York, the ever sunny and let's just welcome Charles Gillespie. Welcome.
Hey Art, hey Lloyd, hey everybody in the chat.
Hey Charles, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Oh, good. So we got a whole lot to talk about tonight.
Hey, I got a question.
Yes.
Charles, how's it in your part of the country?
Yes, that's right.
It's been chilly the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, Monday night going into Tuesday, it actually dropped below freezing at night.
Oh boy!
But we're on an upward trend.
Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
Excuse me. I've got the yawns, guys. I apologize.
Yes, so do I. So know how you feel. So we got nobody knows who's running Iran because there's supposed to be the ceasefire, and then we're supposed to have these negotiations.
Sort of reminds you of the Democratic Party, doesn't it? Nobody knows
Yeah,
who's
it does. Shooting at tankers going through the straits. Uh, yeah. So the way I look at it is, you know what? Let's just pick the good guys and say, here you go. Give them a big pallet or a big shipment of, you know, our old M16s and say, have at it. Go get rid of that IRGC and get rid of those idiots. Yeah. Take back your country. Damn it. So that's what's going on there. And what's going on? Well, Virginia, which is close to Charles, they've just had an election where they've decided to change, well, redistricting. They voted on redistricting. And so they made it to where the congressional maps will be, what is it, 9-1, where you'll have one Republican
More like
seat.
10-1.
10-1. Oh, how democratic of them. You know, they want to save democracy, but they, you know, it's a purple state, and then they want to turn it blue.
Yeah, well, there's already, I mean, they already had plans for lawsuits that were going to go into effect. It's going to hit the Supreme Court before it's all over. So it's not a done deal because there was some ambiguity in the way the thing was
The
written,
language,
and the language of it, and it was a bit, it was one of those vote yes if you don't agree to do anything not to.
yeah, that's true. Mhm.
That's pretty much how it was. Yeah.
Yep, that's how my ex
Or vote no if you agree not to do anything that you want to do, but shouldn't ought to do, but you're not going to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shit like that, which it was about as, that's made about as much sense as I think their that ballot did. So,
Mhm. Yep.
So,
Well, they already have. I mean, some court already stepped in and said, no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional based on their own constitution. They already have a method for district,
Right. Mhm.
districting,
Redistricting.
Redistricting. Yes. Yeah,
That
I know.
word.
It's kind of hard to say. You know.
Redistricting.
Yeah.
Read
And
my
Lloyd did
flapping
it
lips.
well with only half of his teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to work at it.
And so they got that.
So, in
And
other words, they would have to have a vote on a constitutional amendment
first. Yeah.
first before they could ever, before they could change it. So, I mean, their state constitution, but it still have to be a vote. So,
right.
and because, like you said, they already have a constitutional rule in their state constitution. So,
Yeah, we have the same thing here in Colorado that just passed recently. That there's a committee that's the prizes of 1/3 Republicans, 1/3 Democrats, and 1/3 unaffiliates, and that's how the board is formed, and it's very similar to what Virginia's doing. So they've already got a board that establishes the redistricting that happens every 10 years after the census. Then they decide how to reapportion.
reapportion it. Yeah.
Right. Which here in Colorado, because, population changes, some districts are going to have more population. So they'll have to split a district to make another district, add up to the same percentage, so to speak.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's the same way for congressional seats. federal congressional seats.
Right. Yeah.
And for state house and state senate seats.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
you're
that's what it should be. I mean, there should be a board across the,
right.
across, the electorate.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
I would like to see no gerrymandering. Just have it to where it's just set up, to where the seats are competitive. Because I think, our ideas would really do well, much better.
Yeah.
Uh,
Seats competitive. What do you mean?
well, to where you have an equal amount of, Democrats and Republicans, to where,
Oh,
not one district has more of one party than the other.
okay. Yeah, I can see that. That would probably cut down on a lot of the problems you have in the big metroplex.
Right, right.
You know.
Uh, but the problem with that is Democrats don't want that because
That's
they
how they
really,
keep.
they
Yeah.
really don't like democracy
Right.
because
Yeah.
their ideas suck. You
Yeah.
know, unless their ideas only work in big metropolitan areas where you have people that want free shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's basically what they want. It's like they're the Santa Claus party.
Well, if they got the cost of living down in those big metropolitan areas, they wouldn't need the free shit.
Right. Or the other thing that they do is they regulate and tax the shit out of businesses, and
Exactly.
businesses
Yeah,
leave.
that talking about taxation stuff, here in Muskogee, when I go to buy something at the store, whatever it may be, a cup of coffee or a donut or even a McDonald's hamburger, I'm
Uh-huh.
going to pay 10 cents on every dollar.
Mm,
Okay. But
yeah.
that's not all state tax. That's state sales tax, that's county sales tax, and that's city sales tax.
City sales. Yep. That's
You get
right.
out there in Florida, like where Bill lives, and they're like at maybe 6%, probably less than that,
Uh-huh.
and they only have the one tax. This counties and the cities don't have their own tax. Now there are a couple counties that have added, you know, but their income, all of that is based on their ad valorums,
Mhm.
with their property income and stuff like that.
Right. hmm
So
Yep.
it was real weird to see those lower, and to be honest with you, I still don't know exactly how that works, but it's different. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, because we pay well, well, we pay a state, we pay a federal, a state, and I think a county tax on our gasoline, on our fuels.
Right. hmm
But that's all added into the price.
Right. hmm
Which currently I think I saw it the other day for 3.17 a gallon.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Well,
which
we're back up to $3.99 at the expensive places, but I paid $3.41 yesterday because I shop around and I know where the cheap places are.
yeah, well, there's about three of them in competition, right, within 4 blocks of my house in any one direction. So, uh,
Mm,
yeah,
Yeah, that's always. But you could be like California, where the taxes on gasoline there is 60 cents per gallon.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yep. Yeah, but they gotta pay for that high speed train to nowhere. Yeah.
out in California, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep. Yep. That and what else is going on? Oh, California. Speaking of California, They are trying to, the legislators, state legislature, is trying to pass the Stop Nick Shirley Act.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No.
Even if it does, even if they pass that, uh, it's a violation of freedom of speech
Yeah.
and freedom of the press.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
First Amendment. It's all right there.
Yep.
It's amazing how these politicians don't they don't seem to read the Constitution.
Oh.
It's just amazing. Yeah, and speaking of politicians, uh I was watching today, and of course they were talking about this couple whose daughter got killed by this illegal uh alien that had been arrested and then let go. He was caught at the border, and then he was let go by the Biden administration, and then
Right.
he was arrested for shoplifting within a month of being here. He's let go again. He's arrested for not having a warrant, and they let him go again. They never he was arrested for no show, and they issued a warrant.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, then he ends up killing this gal, and which was senseless, and it's because they wouldn't. It was in Chicago. They wouldn't.
Chicago.
They wouldn't contact
ICE.
ICE.
Yep.
DHS or whoever. They wouldn't contact them. ICE, and is the head of the secretary of DHS said today that it's disgusting. He says that they're wanting to defund this. And he says Chuck Schumer is nothing but a lying scumbag politician. As a matter of fact, Google that and you'll see that Chuck Schumer is a lying scumbag politician.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and sure as shit, I Googled just that, lying scumbag politician, and the whole
said that.
That would be Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I actually Googled it right after I saw that story, and it brings up that quote.
Google actually showed that.
Yeah.
And that'll be another topic.
They showed the story, in which Mark Wayne Mullen called him but that was the top of the list,
that's good. So it's
lying scumbag politician, and of course, even the AI came up and said that this is in reference to Chuck Schumer.
Oh, okay, because that's going to be another topic we get talk shortly about these search engines and how left leaning a lot of these search engines. So, so we got that, and Chicago has, they've got an attorney general that's very, anti-police, and a lot of these blue states have compliant attorney generals that are very lenient with their bail process, to where there's no cash or personal, they call them PR bonds where they could so it's basically catch and release,
personal recognizant.
Mm-hmm. Where the cops catch them, and then there's no bond. They have no skin in the game. They let them out. They don't call, like you said, they don't call ICE to pick them up if they happen to be here illegally. And then they cause more crime,
Right.
It starts off with shoplifting, and then
eventually led to murder. She was warning her friends that there's a gunman in the park. He had a gun, an illegal. Yeah, he had a gun. How the hell does an illegal alien get hold of a gun? Thought Chicago had one of the toughest gun laws in the United States. How's that working for them?
How's that working out?
Yeah. But it's like what he was talking about, of course, was about what's really sad is, you got ICE and Border Patrol, in which Chuck Schumer said, and that was part of the story. Chuck Schumer said nobody respected ICE or the Border Patrol. No, the whole country hates him, and that's not true. That's a lie.
That's
And that's why he's a lying scumbag politician.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But, excuse me. Uh, uh, they're not funding right now the DHS, or I mean the ICE or the Border Patrol. Now these, like, well, for example, the Coast Guard,
Yeah.
they get their funding through DHS.
Oh,
You know,
I didn't
and
know
they're
that.
not, and they're not getting that. So, and it caught me off guard for a minute when you said, they don't have enough fuel to patrol and look for the drug runners and stuff like that. They don't
Right.
have the money to pay for the fuel. So he said it was being dealt with through a DOW, and I'm thinking, oh, Department of War. I'm still
Yeah.
getting used to
Yeah.
Department of Defense. Used to
Yeah.
be called before it became the Department of Defense. It was called the War Department. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Or Department of Wildlife.
yeah, well, Department of Wildlife, but I don't think that's who's funding it. No, uh, but in a lot of cases, uh, these uh, these ICE agents and these Border Patrol are having to use their own personal cards to
Yeah.
put gas in their vehicles. They're paying for it, and they're not getting paid, and now their bills are getting behind, and it's starting to hurt their credit rating, all
Right.
because of somebody like Chuck Schumer. So
Right.
hopefully the reconciliation thing that they've started will go through.
Right.
They
Mm-hmm.
have started pushing to get it through reconciliation without any votes from the from the from the left or from the Democrats. So
Right. That's good. That's good. Hopefully we could get it through and
yeah,
get these guys back to
get them back to full force and everything.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
Can't
the
we hook the
chance,
SAVE Act onto the reconciliation?
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to push it through that way too. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I know that I think it's the senator. I think her last name is Luna.
Yeah, she's out of Florida.
Yeah, she keeps on talking about attaching it to FISA.
Yeah.
But FISA.
yeah, I've been hearing that too. So I don't know if they're because they're trying to renew the FISA Act, so they may attach it to that. I haven't heard. I just know that they've started reconciliation on the in the Senate on the ICE and Border Patrol
Right.
payments, or DHS payments. So yeah.
Right. And well, you touched on Florida. That congresswoman just resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what she got? Like, is she the one that? Let's see, what'd she do?
She
Took.
built. She built the what was it? The COVID
She
funding.
took COVID money and put it into her campaign funds. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
$5 million.
Yeah. She could
Mm.
face up to 20 years in prison.
Mm-hmm. And they were
She
just
resigned because she didn't want to have to be, taking away from the helping doing the people's work,
right.
dealing with this, illegal political attack on her. So rather than take
Mm.
away from doing the people's work, she would deal with this, and then it'd come back at another time, I'm sure.
Right. And I think these investigations. It's starting to look like Ilhan Omar might be the next one that might get either
We could
ousted.
we could only hope, I guess I could probably, lose $30 billion or 30 million, however much it was that she had
Yeah.
in a month's time. I could figure a way to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of buying guitars, I'd buy a guitar factory.
Well, you could open up a Lyran Center.
I could, yeah.
For people.
Yeah,
who want
she'd be more qualified for that.
learn to play the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the other day somebody saying that, you know, uh, her husband, it comes out and he says, "I am sick and tired of everybody." Her husband came out and says, "I'm sick and tired of everybody picking on my sister."
Yeah. 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 You must have been watching the same Gutfeld show then.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah. Which I thought was good. Hey, I'm not above stealing a joke now and then if it's a decent
Yeah,
one.
I
You should try
know.
that, Art.
Yeah.
Steal the decent ones. Don't steal the
Hey,
has.
well, hey, we still got a half hour left, so yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that going on. Oh, and Colorado is in the process of putting through a bill called the No Kings Day. Yeah, No Kings Act. And it says it would provide state court remedies and allow lawsuits against federal, state, and local government officials for violating of federal constitutional rights. The bill is modeled after a federal law that provides the same remedies, but only for state and local officials. Democrat Senator Mike Weissman, who co-sponsored the bill, said the goal of No Kings Act specifically was to address federal officials and include any government officials. There is already a remedy for state and local officials per law,
Right.
federal law, 42 USC 1983. Weissman said the issue is that there has never been a comparable remedy for federal officials in either federal or Colorado state law.
Did
Yeah.
you see what Ronnie put up there?
Okay.
No Kings is
right.
uniting with the No Dinosaurs and No Unicorns for a combined No Brains rally. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, as far as I know, I don't ever, and I grew up in Colorado and I did study a little Colorado history. That's another story. But anyways,
Yeah, you probably know all about the Indians. Yeah. The Utes,
maybe
the
a little bit.
Arapaho, and the Cheyenne. And
Yeah.
Yep.
The Meeker massacre. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no.
Sand Creek.
Sand Creek. Yep.
Yep. You were
Actually, I've read.
probably there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. It was a little bit, just a little before my time. But as far as I know, I don't ever remember Colorado have. Well, I take it back. Colorado did have a king at one time.
Oh yeah, when was the Spanish?
Yeah, when it was a Spanish, colony.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the King of Spain, King and Queen of Spain. When
Right.
Cortez came through there.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of which my son is ancestors to that. That's the conquistador. He's from that. His bloodline is from that group.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah, they're old line
Spanish. Yeah.
Spanish here in Colorado, not these newcomers.
No, they're old line Spaniards. Yeah.
Well, they've been here for like 200-300 years. Then, yeah,
at least, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But anyways, no. So I don't ever, other than back, like I said, during the day of Cortez, and the conquistadors, there was never a king in Colorado.
That's right. That's right.
Now, wasn't Colorado part of the Louisiana Purchase as well?
Yes.
So there was a king because it was part of France. So there was a king under France too. So
yes, that is true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's been a couple kings in Colorado.
Yep, that's right. I think. Well, and that's how we got Saint Vrain. That's a French name.
Yeah.
And
then, look at the Poudre River, Cache de la Poudre.
Yep.
What does that mean? Do you know?
Just don't put her in this river.
Nope, nope. What it means is a powder cache.
Ah, powder cache.
That's
Okay.
at the headwaters. There is where they would, the French trappers, they'd bury their powder for the winter
Mhm.
in the ground, and it was called a cache. It was called a powder cache.
Oh,
So cache de la poudre,
oh,
or the cache of powder.
okay. That's
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then if you go further south, you have more of the towns have Spanish names like Trinidad,
Cortez,
Cortez,
Dur-
Buena Vista, Durango.
Durango. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, then you got Los Animas River. You got the town of Los Animas, and you got
yep,
the Rio Grande. Starts here in Colorado. We're the
yeah.
head.
It does. Yeah.
No, the Colorado is the headwaters of 5 major rivers.
I knew it was quite a few because I know the Arkansas is there,
Arkansas, the Platte River,
the Platte River. Yeah, that's right,
South Platte, North Platte, the Rio Grande, and the Colorado River.
and the Colorado River. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And let's see, what is the headwaters of the Colorado River?
I don't
That
know.
would be Grand Lake.
Oh, Grand Lake. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
because it
Yeah.
used to be called the Grand River
Yes.
when it went by Grand Junction,
Yep.
Colorado.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Lake is up in the Granby area. So,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
so let's see. There's Granby, Shadow Mountain Lake. There's
Yep.
Lake Granby, Shadow Mountain Lake, and
Grand Lake.
Grand Lake. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's 3
Yep.
lakes up there,
Yep.
and
That's right.
that's where they have that's where the is it Shadow Mountain Reservoir where because they cascade and bring it down to where they can go through the tunnel system that pumps water out into the eastern slope.
Moffat Tunnel.
No, not Moffat Tunnel. Moffat Tunnel's a train tunnel.
Oh, you're right. There is
Adams is what?
Stratton Tunnel that
Okay,
empties into Cheeseman, I think.
okay, yeah. It's been a
Uh,
while. I
it's
used to
been
go. We used to go up there in the summertime and spend a week or two up there a couple of times during the summer, and stay at the same place
cool.
and used to go. We'd go down there to the dam, and they'd have a big. Uh, you'd go down inside the dam. They had a big tour there, and they had one area there that showed how big that tunnel was, and they painted on the wall so you could see how big it was. That
Wow.
thing was friggin' huge.
Hmm.
I was like, God, it's almost 3 stories tall,
Wow. Wow, that is big.
and is wide.
So
You know,
here we're churning out a
generation
generation of poor. Yes, we are.
poorly educated people, no skills, no ambition, no guidance, and no realistic expectations of which it means to and what it
Go.
means to go to work. Yeah, Mike Rowe. Yeah, and he's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the smartest things Mike Rowe ever talked about was trade schools.
Trade schools.
You know, I mean,
Schools.
because you don't see kids over at the Botech schools protesting, and
Yes, that's
because
right.
they're learning how to work, they're not learning how to you know weave baskets.
Right. And one thing about trade schools is you don't have this huge debt when you're done.
That's
You
true.
have a
That's true.
skill and you just go out there, and where you go to college, you have this big debt. When I went to college, we didn't have tuitions that were
No, I didn't either.
astronomical.
I was able to pay. I never got a loan for any of my college. Of course, mind you, I was going on the GI Bill,
Yeah.
but I was able to pay my tuition, buy my books for each semester, pay my tuition for each semester, and still have money coming in to help subsidize uh, Judy working while I was going to college. I mean, it helped pay the rent,
Mhm.
and pay the lecture. I mean, and that was something that, that was offered when I was in the service with GI Bill, and I think it's something that should still be offered to the military, not like they've got it now, but uh but the way they did it, and you
Mhm.
serve, you can go to school on the GI Bill,
Right.
and
Mhm.
mine was the Vietnam era GI Bill, which was the best one out there,
Right. Right.
but I didn't. I ended up graduating and not having any debt because one of the things I refused to get. I didn't even put in for grants. I refused to go do grants or loans. I went strictly through the
Yeah.
GI Bill.
Right.
I could have got grants,
So
that would have.
grants you don't have to pay back.
I know, but there was still. It was just more trouble than it was worth because the grants
Yeah.
were limited anyways,
Right.
and there were so many other people putting in for them so early, and a lot of them got their grants for 4 years. Me, I went semester at a time, and of course, I got my degree, but I went each semester. I signed up, I paid my money right up front, you know, and you could afford to go to school back then. Mind you, I went
Mhm.
to state colleges, which was cheaper, but
Right.
yeah, and I went to Voc Ag school, which was even even cheaper, than your.
Cool.
But I mean, it was a full time. I ended up with a college degree, so that's all that matters. I ended up not using it. I got a degree in English literature and
Oh
never
wow.
used it for a day.
Everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was going to teach literature, either at the
Oh.
college level or the high school level. And then I got to that point where I discovered I didn't like teenage kids because my kids had turned into teenagers, and I couldn't stand the little shits.
That's that.
Yeah. So I decided that, and they were starting to crack down. You couldn't beat the kids anymore, in class.
Yeah,
You couldn't
that's
use a paddle on them.
right.
And so, uh,
Yeah, I think that started to go away right after I graduated. Yeah.
yeah, I probably, well, yeah.
Back
I
in
know I was in high school and I was still getting my ass beat once in a while by the principal. Well, mainly the vice principal. I didn't know the principal as much as I did the vice principal.
yeah.
Uh, Actually, no, I did come to think of it. We used to get in debates. I came up with the most convoluted excuses for me and my friends to get out of. He says, "You really should be a lawyer." He said, "Better yet, you should be a prosecutor." He says, "Because
Ah.
you come up with the evil side of these rules that we don't see." That's something kids don't do either. They give you that rule book at the beginning of school. The school guide.
yeah.
I believed in reading it. So I knew every little rule. And so if there was something I could fudge on, maybe like we weren't allowed to smoke.
Right.
There wasn't a thing about smokeless tobacco.
Oh. Okay.
So
Oh
a lot of us chewed,
yeah. Dude. Yeah.
and they'd bust us for it. I said, "You can't do that." Says right there on page such and such, you can't, it says, I'm not smoking. And so the beginning of
Sure, you're
it would have been,
sitting next to the trash
yeah.
can at class.
Well, we had brown carpets in the cafeteria, so at homeroom, you walk
Uh,
across the cafeteria and go squish, 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 because all the cowboys were in there.
oh
Yeah,
God. God,
yeah.
that takes me back to baseball. Oh God.
Oh
Especially
yeah,
in college where some of these idiots, they would take bubble gum and they put the tobacco in, they make a ball with bubble gum on the outside. And I'm like, and then at the end of the game, I'd see all these balls of discarded
yeah,
chew on the ground.
yeah. It is a disgusting
Oh,
habit. I got to admit, yeah. But
yeah, I mean,
I can't do it anymore. It'd kill me. I just, yeah. But
yeah,
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 I
look at
just,
what it did to your teeth. Yeah.
no, that's not what did it to my teeth. Yeah,
Anyway,
that's, yeah. Guy
so
had my teeth were still good when I quit chewing. It was
Oh,
years. Yeah, I quit chewing shortly after Judy and I got married.
oh, that's good.
She
She's
wasn't
straight.
fond of
Yeah,
it. She wasn't real fond of it.
that and alcohol. So she,
She
yeah,
straightened me out. Yeah, I quit.
yeah,
I quit
you
dipping,
found
and
a
I
good
quit.
one there.
Yeah,
You loved her enough to say, by God, she's
she was
good to
worth
me.
keeping. Yeah,
And
she was. She was a keeper for
if
sure.
I want to keep this lady, I better straighten up and
Straighten my
fly.
act up, and I did. And uh I don't regret a day of it, but it was, the best thing that ever happened to me. I'd probably be dead by now. I'd probably have died from cirrhosis of the liver,
Yeah. Yep.
but, yeah.
Anyway, we
Oh,
got. Yes, go ahead.
I did want to go back to the Strait of Hormuz because we were talking about, I talked to Paco and I were talking today, and one of the things we were discussing, you know, one of the things that's frustrating about it right now is, of course, nobody knows who's in charge, and really who's in charge is the head of the Iranian Republican Guard,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and that's who's running. They've got the guns, they've got the weapons.
Yep.
We're not going to be able to fix that. If they can keep taking out the heads, and they're going to come back. And what I feel was a fundamental mistake. We should not have stopped bombing.
Yeah, that's true.
We should have kept going for at least. We should have taken out their infrastructure. That's the first thing you do in a military strike.
Yep.
And this continued. Not the Donald Trump's. Although I did get an email from him today, so I might write him back. He sends me emails about twice a week. Not emails, text messages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got my personal phone number, and we text back and forth. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, seriously, I do. I text with him, but not that he listens to me, but I wish he would, because this
And
is
what
what.
does he say?
Today he texted me and let me know that they've just done a healthcare thing, and you go to, I think it's called trumpdrugs.gov or something like that, and they've reduced the prices of about all the major drugs by 90%.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of Hormuz, yeah. I think what we need to do is we need to take out Carg Island or take control of it completely. Right. We need to bomb their infrastructure, which is what we should have done in the first place.
Right.
And make it so miserable for the people over there. And, I feel bad for the Persian people that are having to suffer, but it needs to be bad enough that they're fed up, that they're going to rise up and knock the shit out of these guys. Give them some guns, but don't give them to people like the Kurds. Make sure,
right?
We got CIA, we got Mossad people in there. They could get the guns to the people that need it.
Yeah,
and that's what needs to be done. But we need to, because otherwise, this is going to be. It's going to be like what's going on with Syria.
Right.
The same, going to have this civil war where we're going to be supporting on one side, and Russia and China is going to be supporting on the other, and blah, blah, blah. And it's going on for another 10 years. No, stop this bullshit of negotiating with a group of people that have no desire. That right now, that regime, that theocracy, they have no desire to negotiate with us. Into conversation. Jimmy Carter clusterfuck.
And I'm hoping that I think what Trump is trying to do is he's trying to give them.
You're right, Ronnie. That is the problem, is that they have been living in all this misery and still haven't rose up. And
I think
first
ahead,
off, they don't have any weapons.
Right.
They don't have any way to rise up. What they want is the U.S. to come in, wipe out the current regime, so they can have their Shah back in there. There can't
Right,
be.
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the
And
other thing is that what we should have done is we should have, as soon as we heard that they were, as soon as we got word that they were executing all of these protesters, we should have started bombing the living shit out of them on that day. We shouldn't have given them time.
right,
You know, you don't negotiate with the devil. You know,
right.
these are terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You go in there and you blow the shit out of them. And
Yep.
you know, I'm a warmonger, maybe. So what?
Mm-hmm.
This is a war that's been going on for 47 years,
40.
and I wished I don't know who's advising the president right now, but obviously it's not me.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know what? And this
you're
war is
right, Ronnie.
this war is putting a damper on a lot of young men's their weekend because the price of condoms have gone up.
I was trying to
Because,
avoid that. If I'd have kept my mouth shut and not
uh,
talked about this, you wouldn't have discussed that.
yeah, it just it's hard on all of us.
Oh God.
Well, not on me because my girlfriend lives thousands of miles away. But if I could
He's unfortunate, and the unfortunate thing is that he's actually telling the truth about that. So it is because of the lack of oil being able to come through the strait in order to create latex, which is what's used for.
well, actually, latex is made of rubber,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
not oil.
All right.
Okay. I love how global crises trickle down. We
Yeah.
regret to inform you, due to maritime tensions, you're now a father.
There we go.
Imagine explaining this. Why is this so expensive?
I
Well,
agree with
babe,
you, Ronnie. I don't either.
it's the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, so we're just risking it for foreign policy now.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Steve's got a point, and I think that's part of it too. Is he's rearming and resupplying because you
yeah.
know it needed to be done, and of course, unfortunately, so are they. You know,
Hmm.
uh,
Yep.
uh, mass killings were done with a knife, hammer, or anything other than a gun. Politicians and media wouldn't say anything about that. You're right. You know.
Well, over there in Australia, they are trying to have a ban on machetes and
Well,
knives.
yeah, because they had a guy that just here recently just went through and killed a bunch of people with a machete.
Right. Hmm.
But Australia, they have this knee jerk reaction to everything. They had a guy, I think it was in Tasmania, back in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, and he killed 13 or 14 people in a gun spree. And that's when the ban on guns went into effect, and they basically said, you know, you got to belong to a gun club. Is They have all sorts of restrictions. Now farmers can have them, you know,
Right.
which has been documented by drones that were shot out of the sky by farmers, you know, in Australia. Because I brought that up. Greg showed that show, and I said, "Wait a minute! I thought you guys didn't have guns." Yeah, and
Ah,
because
that's right.
They can have rifles, but
we showed that on Greg's
Osborne,
show, Oz by Drone. Yeah, I couldn't think of the
yeah.
name, man. But yeah, we showed it on his weekly show, and I said, "Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! You guys ain't got guns. How'd this guy end up shooting this drone out of the air?" Oh, well, farmers can have 'em. I said, "Ah, there you go. So
Mhm.
if I claim to be a farmer, I can have a gun." That's, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see my petunia garden? I'm a farmer.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
farmer.
there you go.
That's why I'm carrying. That's why I got an AR-15 now because I'm a farmer.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh, I missed that show. That was
I
on
did.
Friday nights, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Friday
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were the co-host and
Well,
John.
no, actually, John was the co-host. I was just a comic
Right.
relief.
Okay.
I just started out as a behind the scenes, uh, I started out as a behind the scenes uh, assistant producer. I would I would do part of it. Trevor did some of it, and his wife did the main producing, and well, his daughter did actually
Right.
until
Mhm.
she went off to university, and then uh, uh, she went off to university, and his wife took over, and then things changed, and he was going to have to get a new software, and
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, he
uh,
got a job and that took more time
yeah,
away.
he ended up going back to work, instead of working on his own. He's working on his own again right now.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
he's doing a lot of independent contracting stuff. So,
Good.
which is what he likes to do. He likes to do coding and stuff, which he's
Oh,
good at it.
well, he'll love AI because
Yeah, he's actually working with some AI stuff right now. He was
good.
telling me about, and you know, everybody's for years everybody bitched about DJI and the ban on DJI,
Mhm.
and well, when it was initially found, they were sending stuff back. There was a line that they were, and but Greg and some of the OGs hackers are the ones who discovered it and then released it, and of course they stepped in. Of course, they corrected that
Mhm.
supposedly. But
Yeah.
when he was doing the coding for No Limit Drones, with they'd get a drone, they'd go in there to the software, and they'd crack open the code, but they had to have, whether it's a Mavic 3 or Mavic 2, whatever it was, they had to
Right.
have that drone to get into software. They'd go inside there and they'd crack the code, and then they'd change the code.
Right.
Well, everybody was saying, "Well, show us the proof, show us the proof," and I'm sitting there because Greg contacted me one day when he was working for them. He says, "I got a line. I got something I got to show you." And there was a line in DJI, and this was after that initial one. This was just a few years back. There was
Mhm.
a line in which they were sending code back to China's version of. Uh, it was supposed to be the Chinese version of a Facebook server, but it was a government run server,
Ah.
and they were sending the code back to China. So
Okay.
all this stuff that they said they said, I've seen the line of code. He showed me where it was at. I looked at it.
Mhm.
We went and looked at the website where it was going to, and it was going to a Chinese server.
Okay.
So it's
Well,
there was
now,
truth to that, but I couldn't say anything about it then. Now it's well beyond that time period, but
right.
at least 3 years ago, or
Mhm.
it was shortly before he shut down the show. Maybe that's been 4 years now, but
Yeah, I
they were
think
still
yeah,
probably
4 or
close to
5
4 years.
years.
But yeah,
Yeah.
4 years ago they were still because I think it was actually in the Mavic 3, because that was
Uh-huh.
the last one he worked on, and
Okay.
they were still sending shit back to China.
Right. Now,
Now they
if he could figure a way how to help these poor schlubs that bought a second or third hand drone that's what was it? Oh, it's bound to someone else. If they could figure a way how to break that so people could fly their friggin' drone.
oh,
You know?
I have no doubt there's probably somebody out there's already done that.
Yeah.
You just got to
And
really look for it.
I think AI could do it. It's just that you gotta get the
You got to
not
go into the root code. Yeah.
yeah, you can't use the AI like through the internet. You gotta have a local
Right.
AI
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
uncensored AI. Otherwise, you'll get a message like, "Well, I can't do that because that violates this and blah 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 blah." But if you get your own local AI that's not
You're right.
attached to the internet, and you just have to ask the right question.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because AI, it's evolving. It
Oh yeah,
learns
yeah, it's
as
evolving.
it gets older, and like for instance, I'm learning to get better at setting up prompts to get my AI to work. For example, I've got a video that you might enjoy. Here is Yoda singing "Happy Birthday."
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
That's not Baby Yoda. That's Grogu.
Oh, Rogu. Okay. Well, anyway, right
He,
behind me is Rogu. I got that from work. I had they gave me what they have is a recognition program. I've earned enough points to where I could go on their site and
right.
pick something out. And most of the stuff that I wanted, I'd have to have a shit ton of points, which I didn't have.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
I'll show you what I got.
Oh, you know, we're still live. Well, I think we're live. Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Ronnie, you're right. There's too many things to be pissed off about, you know. It's almost as much trouble now to be a Republican as it is to be. Oh, isn't that cute? Judy would have loved that.
I think I've got one of those.
That's what I got.
I've got one somewhere, but it doesn't have the shiny eyes like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So I took a picture of it's got a name on it, and if I would just looked at it, I would find. I always thought it was Baby Yoda, but
that's what they first called him. He was the first part of the first half of the first season. Yeah, Grogu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they named him. I don't know, partway through the first season, but when he first showed up, in Mandalorian, when he first showed up, everybody just called him Baby Yoda, and a lot of people still call him Baby Yoda. You know, he's still recognized as that, but Yoda was a name, not a species. So
right. So that was using Grok, and this is from Galaxy AI, and this is a little more sophisticated.
Tigre si nanay. Pag si nanay ay sumigaw, parang may bagyo, biglang tahimik pati aso't pusa sa kanto. Nalilisik na mata tapos nakakulot ang loob. Isang tingin lang, alam mo nang delikado. Pag may alat ka, naku lagot ka na. Automatic sermon buong maghapon. Ano to? Bakit parang gera na naman? Ikaw na payo ko na lang, kunwari walang alamay. Pero teka lang, huwag kang matakot. After ng galit may lambing nakasunod. Biglang magtatanong nang kumain ka na ba? Ayun, may ulam ka na ulit sa mesa.
So did you see anything unusual about that?
Yeah, the friggin' set of teeth coming out from its throat. That was creepy. Like, Jesus, what kind of monster is this little shit?
I think it's because of that other vocal had something to do with the that.
You put a second. Yeah, that was just creepy. That part.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I didn't understand the damn word he said, but I did enjoy. You know, it was a nice rhythm, so I'll give it that much.
Yeah. So
my Filipino is way off. You know, I haven't.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a song about his mother, and evidently there's some funny stuff going. That's why you hear laughter. And I'm like, I recognize a few of the words, but I'm like on.
You be careful about putting up songs that you don't know what the hell the translation is on, because you could be putting up some really nasty sounding stuff. You know, So you got to be careful with that. You know,
Oh,
stick
if
with.
it's on
You know,
Facebook,
here's the thing: stick with English. Most of us speak it. You know, it's just out of courtesy to the rest of the friggin' world that speaks it. You know.
Well, yeah, so we did a little over an hour and we covered a lot of stuff. Even some corny, funny
Yeah,
stuff.
we covered some stuff. Yeah, we probably could have probably deserved to stay covered. You know.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. I hope you had a wonderful week. So take care and have a great weekend. Don't forget Bill's show on Saturday and Lloyd's show on Monday and my show tomorrow.
And hopefully I feel good enough to do it Monday. I felt terrible Monday, and I tried to do it, and I thought, I can't do this. I got to go lay down. So anyway.
Right.
But yeah, good night, everybody. It was a great show.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Don't forget, tune in to Artco Drones and Entertainment live stream for more exciting content every Friday night at 5